Hi there, this is Ray from DM Funnels. I've been posting a few things in the Xfunnels group and I've had a query come up regarding what's a great way to create a subscription payment button so that you can collect payments. Maybe you're setting up a membership program and you want to charge $50 a month for people to join the program. You might even want to have, let's say the first month of that program is for a trial period of $1. So let's go with that premise where we've got a membership program. The first month is $1 for it's a trial, and after that they're going to be charged $50 per month. So if you haven't got a PayPal account, it's a good time to set one up, but set up a business account. I'm not going to go into how you do that here, but if required I can set up another video later on. So I'm assuming you do have a PayPal business account set up. So there are two ways to actually create a subscription button in PayPal. I'll walk you through both of those ways in this tutorial, so it might take a little bit longer, but we'll go through it. Now, in preparation for this, there's a couple of things we can do. What I've got is a page that I've set up earlier, just a standard page, and this will make more sense a bit later on, but in that page I've got sample buttons that I think I'd like to use at some stage. So it's just a standard web page, and I've just gone through the process of grabbing an image, uploading that image from my hard drive, as we can see here, selecting an image, bringing that in, doing the editing in the tool, so just making sure we've got it. So this will make a bit more sense later on, but ultimately what we're able to do is we're able to use with PayPal our own buttons or the PayPal button. So I'm going to walk you through both those options, but I thought it'd be good to sort of start off with this and say, hey, if you're thinking about using your own button with PayPal, I suggest just create a simple page in your Xfunnels where you can just upload some assets like this. Okay, so this button's coming through now. So there's that button that I just created. So it's now there. The reason I've done that is I want to be able to grab the URL of that button in a minute. As I said, this will make more sense in a minute, but this is just a standard Xfunnels page, and I've just inserted images of buttons on that page that I might want to use. That's the only purpose of this page. So now we're going to go across into PayPal. So I'm assuming you've logged in. And once you've logged into PayPal, whatever screen you're at, hopefully you'll have this bar across the top. If not, you need to get to this stage where you've got this bar across the top, because we're going to go into the Tools and the All Tools, which will actually bring us back to this page. So this page is the All Tools page within PayPal. Okay, now the simplest way of doing what we need to do is we just go down here and we just select this one, which is called PayPal Buttons, and we're going to open that up. So the first button we're going to create is we can create 3 buttons just to make it easy and just to show you the differences. So we're here, this is a button. We are now going to create a new button. So this is the first button. This will be a standard, everyday PayPal button for a subscription. Okay, so now we land on this screen. This is where we start personalizing some bits and pieces. So if we look at this button type here, the one that we actually want is subscriptions. That's all we're interested in for this tutorial. Give it a name. So, it's going to be My Brilliant Membership Site. Now, what you can do is you can set up different buttons for different campaigns. So you might want this campaign to be maybe AdSense 2018 November. Okay, something like that, so that you know that anyone who's clicked on this particular membership button is coming from that AdSense campaign, as an example. Whatever the currency is, I'm not going to worry about customizing the appearance here. And this shows you what sort of button will be shown once they get to PayPal. So this is what they're going to see on PayPal. We don't want to worry about this happening at this stage. Billing amount each cycle. So in this instance, we said we wanted to be a $50 per month bill. So it's $50 and it's every month. So that's a billing cycle once every 2, 3, 4, 5, how often it's going to happen. So it's going to happen monthly and months. Okay, so notice I went up to 30 because you can have it daily. So you could have a billing each day as an example. So you've got days, weeks, months, and you've got the quantity. So we're going to do a monthly subscription for $50. We don't want them to stop. And yes, we are going to offer a trial period. So what we're going to offer is, let's say, a $1 trial period, and that could be for the first, in this instance, let's call it the first 14 days. So the first 14 days. Okay? Hopefully that's making sense. We don't want a second trial period. This one, leave that as use my secure merchant account ID as it is. Because it's probably going to be a virtual or a digital asset, we don't need to track inventory profit or loss, but we do want to potentially do some customized advanced features. So click on this here. This screen simply allows us to do two things primarily. We do need the customer's mailing address, yes or no. So if we're capturing that on our own site, the answer is no. But if you want PayPal to actually capture that information, it'll be yes. And if it's a digital product only, well, you don't need the mailing address. The less things they need to answer that are irrelevant, the better. So in this one here, we've now got two other options. So if they go along and they cancel at their checkout, so they've got all the way through and go, oh, look, I'm not going to worry about it, and they bomb out, what page do you want to take them to? So when you're building your site, you should probably think about having a page where if they cancel, you go and offer them maybe a discounted trial or a free trial for the first 7 days. Just something to try and get them back in. You'd create a different button for that trial, obviously, but you understand the process where if they do cancel, what do you want to tell them? How can you try and get them back? The other one is once they actually do succeed. So they've finished the checkout. Once they've finished at PayPal, where do you want PayPal to send them back to on your site? So, that should be a simple thank you page saying, hey, congratulations, you're enrolled, your payment's being processed, we'll be in touch shortly, or you've got instant access, here's a link to the training as promised, whatever. So you do really need to create a cancel page where you can try and do some sort of upsell, cross-sell onto that one, or maybe sell them a different product, something less, or maybe send a four free video trainings from the first part of the course to try and get them hooked, whatever you want to do. Okay, so create those. Once you've done all that, we've done our 3 steps, we can now create the button. Okay, so now our button's created, we've actually got 2 options here. We've got this website and we've got this email. So why would you use one and not the other? Okay, you'd use the website one if you want this particular button over here to actually show on your website itself. Okay, you'd use the email option if you want to create your own CSS style button on the website and have full control over the look and feel of the button. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to show you both of these options. So I'm going to grab the website one. I'm going to just select that code and I'm going to copy that code to my clipboard. So here's a bit of a page I've made earlier. Just very simple membership button, join before time runs out. So I always recommend you have some sort of scarcity. So maybe throw yourself in, your timer, whatever you want to do there. It's not a tutorial on doing that, but have a timer. So now we've got the 2 options. We copied if you remember rightly over here, we copied the website form code. So in this instance, we're now going to create a button using the web code for our own button. So to do that, go up to the form elements. We choose the one that says custom HTML, which we get our little box there. Let's bring that across. Okay, now we're going to edit that object and we've got the code here that we've copied. Just paste that code in. That's it. So that's what we're going to see how you do the code. Now we're going to go back and we're going to create a second one where we create our own button. Okay, so we're back in this. Remember, I haven't changed anything here. It's just the options you've got. So this time I'm going to grab this line of code and we're going to create our own button. Now we've grabbed the code, we're going to create our own button here using the button styling. So we're going to grab a form element this time. This time we create the submit button. And so we get the standard submit button come up. Let's throw that into here. I'm going to say join today for $1. Okay, so let's just do that. Join today for $1. I might change the button style to something a little bit cooler. 3D looks okay. edit the object now. So I can actually maybe change the color to a different color here. Make it green, seems to be a popular color. Okay, so green, join today for $1. Might increase that font size to maybe 25, a bit bigger. Okay, so as you can see, all we've done here is we've created a button. The next part is in the edit object. We actually want to, that code that we had earlier on. Okay, so remember here at PayPal, we've grabbed this line of code. We're going back here, and in where it's got the mode is submit, form action, and we're just pasting the code from there. That's it. Close that up. Let's save that. So as you can see, we've actually now created 2 subscription buttons. You can't really see what this one looks like yet, but you will in a minute. So this is a button we've created from within XFunnels itself, and this is a button that we've created, but we're pulling in the HTML code. So we'll show you what that looks like now. So you can now see the 2 different sorts of buttons, how they appear. So here's a nice one. Well, I think it's quite nice that we recreated out of XFunnels, but this is a standard one with a standard image that comes out of PayPal. Now, just to show you they both work, I'm going to click on the first one here. So if I subscribe, you can see here it's starting up PayPal for us. And it's got, if that was your business name, it's got that there. It's got your subscription details, what it is, the amount, and how they can subscribe. So that button we know works. So the next one is, let's have a look at how the other one worked out. Okay. So in this instance, we're going to look, this is the one that I said we created ourselves in XFunnels. And so here, we're getting to the exact same place, the PayPal checkout. And as you see, it's exactly the same page that we've landed on. So that's all good. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you was, obviously, the standard PayPal button, if you ask me, is quite bland looking. So there is an option to use your own button image. It's a little bit trickier in XFunnels because it doesn't have a traditional library like some of the others where you can easily find the URL of your images. So if you do want to use some of your own images for, let's say, a button, this is what I recommend doing in XFunnels. Let's go back to our dashboard. And in the dashboard, I've just created a page myself called My Images. And if I go to that, so in the My Images page, I've just grabbed, and this is what I started off with at the start of the tutorial, and I said this would make a bit more sense now. I created just a page with some images. So I want maybe this one to be the button that I want people to actually see on my website. So now that I've got it on here, I can right click and I can copy the image address. Okay. So what that's now done is that's given me the URL of that image. And that's really important when we go back into our PayPal account. So I've got the URL now. If I go back into my PayPal account, and I'm going to say here that I want to go back and edit this button. So we're still in the same button. I haven't changed anything at this stage. Okay, so we'll bring that same button up so it's got the same details. But remember here earlier, customize text or appearance. Remembering the standard, that's the standard button. I don't want that anymore. So I'm going to use here, use your own button image. So I'm going to click on that. And here's why I need the URL of my image, because I need to paste in here the URL from our XFunnels image. So hopefully that's making a bit of sense. I'm not touching anything else. I'm just going to save those changes now. So that's the only thing I've changed here. I've customized it. I've got the URL of our button from XFunnels. Now this code will be slightly different. So let's grab that code again and copy it. So now I'm going to, well, what I might do is actually I might just to show you that it is a different one. I'm going to clone that. Okay. So, and in this instance, actually created and PayPal default that was a PayPal default button image, which is quite boring, as I said. Whereas this one's our own button. So we'll go through that again. So if I grab that, we're grabbing custom HTML, we're editing that, we're putting our code in. Nice and simple, it's pretty quick. Throw your button. Probably one of the hardest things is not knowing how big this box is going to be, so you're just going to have to muck around with that a little bit yourself, because it's hard to preview that code. So you might need to make it wider or longer. You just need to play with that. So that's now the new image. So if I save that, and if we go to you can now see that when we use our own image, that's what we're getting. Okay, so that was the default image where we didn't change anything. That's a button that we created ourselves within Xfunnels and used the email URL link. And this is a button that we've done in PayPal where we've actually got the code from our holding page here by right-clicking, copying the image address and pasting it into the button itself in PayPal, and giving us that option there. Okay, a bit of a long tutorial, but I'm hoping that helps show 3 different ways to create a subscription button for your Xfunnels or for a membership site. Remember to have some stuff like some scarcity, some sense of urgency, throw in some timers. I didn't put any numbers in there, so that's why that's a bit skewy. But anyway, hopefully that answers your questions for today.